Okay, today we're going to make homemade granola. I love to have my homemade granola for my homemade yogurt. It's really yummy. So I just used old-fashioned oats. I've never made this, I've never made this with the cooked oats. So I don't know how that would work. But you need, this one's almost empty. You need 4 cups. Roughly, I mean, it doesn't have to be precise. Yeah. So that was 2, because that's a 2-cup measuring cup. And two more. Of course, there's lots of ways out there to make granola. So this is just the way that I make mine. Okay, so I have 4 cups of oats. You need a 1/2 cup of oil. You want to use a good oil. I use coconut oil because of the health benefits from coconut oil. Sorry, that was a little messy. So I just use a 1/2 cup of coconut oil. Now the thing to this is after you do the coconut oil, you're gonna need a 1/3 cup of honey. Well, this 1/2 cup has got a 1/3 cup in there, and you do the oil first, and then when you do the honey, and you wanna make sure you're using like a local raw honey. Boy, I got a bunch of empty bottles this morning. I had more honey in my pantry, but I knew this would be enough. So we're gonna do that. And this is just so that it comes out of the container really, the measuring cup, with ease if you do the oil first. See? And then we're gonna do a 1/3 cup of pure maple syrup. Once again, make sure you're getting the good stuff. And another empty bottle. Now you could do all honey or all maple syrup. I like the split. I like the way it tastes, so that's why I do it that way. Okay, this is a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Now this is my homemade brown sugar. You can use a 1/4 cup. You can use a 1/3 cup. You know, you can use a little less, a little more. This just depends on how sweet you want yours. We're gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I don't like a lot of salt. And a teaspoon of vanilla. This is a 1/2 teaspoon, so, and once again, that's almost empty. So we're just gonna measure with our hearts. You can measure with your heart as well. But you want about a teaspoon. A little more if you prefer. So we're just gonna mix this up, and then make sure you get your oven preheated to 350. And you want to get this a really good mix. You don't want any dry oats in there. You want to make sure it's all mixed in very well. Now I just do a plain granola because some days I want blueberries, so I'll put blueberries in there. Some days I want strawberries, some days I want both. Some days I just want raisins and craisins, or some days I might want some chia seeds or something in there. So I do that when I mix it in with my yogurt. Some people like to mix it in with their granola already. Now, if you're going to put raisins and craisins and that kind of stuff, don't do that before you put it in the oven. Do that when you put it in your container. And if you're going to do nuts and seeds, if you want almonds in there or whatever, you can do that before you put it in the oven because, you know, roasted nuts are pretty good. But the fruit, you don't want to do the fruit while it's in the oven, because they just get, they'll swell up and get hard and nasty. And you want fruit, you know, your dried fruit to be soft. So there we go. So I've got this all mixed up. Now if you're doing the full recipe, you're going to want to make sure you have a nice big cookie sheet, or you're going to want to use 2 cookie sheets. Because you want to spread this out so that it's a nice thin layer. So I have this cookie sheet. I actually got these at Costco quite a few years ago. They're the USA Pan brand, in case anybody wants to know. So you just dump everything out onto your cookie sheet. And you want to try to get it spread out into a thin layer. So my oven's not preheated yet, but once your oven gets preheated, you're going to want to put it in for about 8 minutes, and then take it out and give it a good stir. You know, mix it up real well. And then you can put it in for 8 more minutes, or until it's as golden brown as you like it, because this is your granola. So, but until it's about as golden brown as you like it. Now I will take my finger and clean this off. This is my granola. But I did wash my hands. I always wash my hands before I cook. So I just have this nice and even spread out. And I'm going to put it in the oven. And then in 8 minutes, I'll take it out and stir it up, flatten it out again. And then 8 minutes later, I'll take it back out, because I know that's how long it takes to cook in my oven. Your oven might be a little different, but you just want to wait until it gets like toasty around the edge. And that's when you want to take it out the first time to stir it up. And then when it gets as brown as you like it, then you can take it out again. But then again, we're going to bake it on 350 for 8 minutes for the first time, and then put it back in for another 8 minutes. That's the way my oven works. Okay, so I just got it out of the oven, and I sat it over here on the counter. Normally I leave it sit on the stove, so I had to put my trivets down. So this is what mine looks like when it comes out of the oven. It's brown and a little, you know, brown toasted. But I don't like to let it sit and turn into big chunks. I like mine, you know, not in chunks. So I find that if I stir it while it cools for a little bit, then I don't have those big chunks that I have to break up. And if you like yours in big chunks, then you could just leave it set and then break it up, you know, into smaller pieces later. But this is the way I do mine, because then I just get like this kind of granola, like this right here. I just want you to see what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. And then if you want to leave it set, you know, if you want the bigger chunks, then just leave it set. If you don't, then you'll need to stir it around and let it break down, or keep it broken up so that it doesn't cool off in a big piece. Because if you just leave it set like this is going to be one big piece, and then you'll have to break it all up. So that's why I do mine the way I do. So I hope you give this recipe a try and enjoy making your own with the simple ingredients, and you know exactly what's in it. You're not getting, you know, no sunflower oil or any other kind of vegetable oil or whatever they put in theirs, unless you want it in there. And then after it cools completely, I'll put it in a container and keep it in my pantry. This much granola usually lasts me about, I'd say 3 weeks. Because I eat yogurt almost every day. So this will last me 2 to 3 weeks. Probably 3 weeks, I'm pretty sure. 3 weeks to a month. Just depends. But it'll stay good in there, so it'll stay good. I don't think I've kept it longer than a month before. But there you go. That's how you make granola. Everybody have a great day.